Hello and welcome back to Annie's channel. My name is Kim and I'm so very thankful that you stopped by today so we can explore the Creative Women's Kit Club together. I really do enjoy this kit club, not only because it's so well packaged, it comes to my door with fantastic instructions, it also has a gamut of different types of projects. But today we'll be exploring some card making. So I hope you stay tuned for two cards that I'll be making, one with the instructions, the other one I'm going to explore on my own. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoy it. So I have all the supplies I need for this kit. I have everything all laid out. I've done some pre-cutting, so you won't have to watch me do that, but all of that is so simply laid out in the instructions. That's one of the reasons why I like Annie's Kit Club, because it's so detailed and very thorough and makes sure that you come out with the best product possible. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and take my aqua card. Now this aqua card has, it could be folded horizontally, but in this case, we're actually going to turn it vertically so we can actually make a pocket out of it on the top. So the first step I'm going to do is actually grab a pencil and a nickel, and I need some place for you to grab whatever we're going to put on the inside of it. We are going to put a bookmark, but I think it would be a lovely addition if we had any sort of a gift card. I think that would be lovely for a graduate or for a birthday occasion. It would just really work well, and it's very striking. So I went ahead and I traced it on the back side of the aqua card using a nickel as a circle centerpiece. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my scissors and get started cutting out that circle just so it goes on the back side, so I wouldn't have to worry so much about the trace lines. Okay, there you have it. I've gone and cut it on the back side. Now I'm going to go ahead and adhere the sides together so they won't come apart vertically. I'm going to just grab my glue dots and go ahead and make an arrangement of adhesive right along the side of my card vertically. And you can see that I'm doing that right here. Press those glue dots down, and then I can go ahead and lift up with the tape. Sometimes you need to add a little extra pressure, but it all works out so wonderfully. Now I'm going to go ahead and repeat that for the other side. 3 glue dot strips seems to work just fine. I want to make sure I'm farthest to the edge as possible because I want to make sure I have enough space for that interior bookmark that we were discussing about earlier, what's going to go inside. I'm going to scoot the rest of my supplies to the side. I'm going to go ahead and fold over. I'm going to make sure that the corners of my cards are lined up before I press down. That way it makes sure it's nice and even. And there you go. I now have my card all ready to go. So I went ahead and cut the swirl paper. It fits so wonderfully here on the bottom of my card. You don't really have to worry about it getting up towards the notch end. And again, I'm just going to use some adhesive tape and go ahead and stick that down. Now you can use adhesive rollers. Any type of adhesive that works for you. I've at times used a glue stick when I have no other adhesive around, because we run out of those tape runners pretty quick when we're card makers, don't we? So sometimes I need to make sure I've got some on hand. And there you go. I have all my adhesive ready to go, and I'm going to place it so it's evenly spaced around all of the edges, just like that. It's time to adhere our die cuts to the front of the card. Now you're more than welcome to use adhesive foam dots. Those are the ones that make it kind of raised underneath the die cut. I'm going to be sending this in the mail, so I want to make sure that it doesn't impede the postal rollers as much. So what I'm going to do is just use my adhesive strips and get those stuck down here. Let's put this guy over here, and we'll put this guy a little bit behind. And for our finale, we've got the little cupcake dude. We're gonna put him right on top. A nice little layering effect that will surely make a wonderful card. The last thing I'd like to attach here is the celebrate on the front of the card, because this could be for a birthday. Of course, it could be for an anniversary. Lots of different ways, including graduation. So this would certainly work well for a graduation present. Let's worry about this. What we've got is a piece of cardstock and a piece of that pink, that purple small dots. What we're going to do is go ahead and adhere both of those together. Going to adhere that right on the top of the paper. Just have to be a little careful to make sure it's nice and centered on the front of that. I am actually going to use a hole punch instead of cutting a slit. I think that will be a better presentation, and I know for sure that it's going to do a great job making this look very professional. Now here's a little tip when you're working with ribbon. Sometimes it tends to fray on the edges, as you can see that I just kind of did that on purpose. What I like to do is just make a nice clean edge with a pair of scissors, okay, and discard that. And then I have my flame thrower. This is meant for lighting candles, but I just like to burn just the edge of it so it seals that edge and it works just perfectly. Let's continue that with this other side. We just put the flame in there, just roll it right across. Of course, be safe, as you know, with any craft project. Now I'm ready to go ahead and insert them into the hole that I made with my hole punch, and then I go ahead and make a loop, and there you go. Doesn't that look cute? Now you can certainly write your own sentiments in the instructions. We have come with these great stamp sets. They come with almost every single card maker kit that Annie's does for creative women, and so you can use sweet wishes and a heart. You can never have too many sprinkles. I'm going to go ahead and get my stamp pad ready to go, and I'm going to get that stamped. We're all ready to start our second card, and I have all of my supplies ready to go. I've got a lavender card this time, some background striped paper, as well as I'm working with the acetates that come in this kit. Now this acetate is a cake dome, and I think it's a great addition to the cake because it's all about celebration. But I do want to tell you that there is a little piece of protective film that is on the cake plate dome, and if you just take that, peel it off, you'll have a crystal clear piece of acetate that you're going to work with in this selection. I also did grab a purple pen, a pair of sharp scissors, as well as some more adhesive dots for adhering our project down. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and move these pieces to the side and go ahead and find my purple card. We're going to actually use this die cut. Now this one is the donut die cut. I think this looks super cute in this kit. I'm going to go ahead and place my cake plate just for reference at the bottom of here, and then I'm going to put my donuts on top, hold it down with my finger, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab my pencil and make sure that that's still lined up. I think it moved slightly. Sometimes that happens when you're trying to hold and trace. So as you can see, I have the donuts face down because they're actually going to be peekabooing through the card as I am cutting out this shape. I think it would look super cute for the donuts to be behind the card and not on top of it. So we're trying a new technique here. I'm going to grab my pair of scissors and I'm going to go ahead and take these super sharp scissors and go ahead and cut along the traced line that I made with my pencil. Now, I am by far a very speedy crafter. I like to get things done when I can. I like to take time and spend some time with my family. So I'm a speedy crafter, which kind of gets me in trouble. But I hope in this instance I do a fantastic job showing you that you can speed along and enjoy the crafting part of it without being so absolutely perfect, because there is a kind of a workaround near the end, and I want to show you that as well. When you're working with projects that don't have a die cut of their own, I know a lot of card makers use those metal die cuts. I unfortunately don't have one, and I don't plan to, because I think doing it the old-fashioned way using a pair of scissors works out for me. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and smooth down what I cut out, and I think it looks really stellar. There's no jagged edges. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my purple striped card backing and go ahead and adhere that down to the back side. Then I'm going to go ahead and put this piece of paper on the inside opposite of where I cut out. So this will be the background paper. I'm just making sure that is nice and square on this background. I'm going to go ahead and find my donuts that I used for this project. I'm going to go ahead and insert them in the hole, make sure that they fit nicely, kind of hold them down, and then go ahead and sneak in some adhesive underneath. That way the donuts will be in the right and correct position. Moving on, I have a glue dot on my finger and I'm just going to go ahead and lift that up, put that there, and now it is perfectly sealed on that one side. And we'll get another glue dot up in there for the other. So now I look through and the donuts are on the inside along on top of the cake plate, which again, we're going to use some of these very delicate and small glue dots. Putting those donuts on a nice and straight cupcake platter. Isn't that lovely? Now this is the time before I put the acetate of the cake donut on top. I want to make sure that I have another fun die cut to put on top of the donuts. That way, after you've peeked through, you already know the donuts are there, but you don't know that the fun is there. So I'm going to put a glue dot on the back of it and add it to the back of my donuts. I think it'll be super cute when you open it up and you see that addition on top. Now let's talk about how to stick down this acetate. There really is no fantastic way to do it other than running it through like maybe a Sizzlix, like adhesive roller that's going to stick it down. I just like being very careful with these glue dot corners and put them in an inconspicuous spot, which are on the top dome part up here and as well as the two corners. I'm going to go ahead and stick it down here on my dome. And if you really are bothered by the fact that you can kind of see it, you can always add a nice little touch, a piece of ribbon up on top. That way no one would ever know. So I've got the interior portion of this pretty much done with. Now it's time to focus on the outside. The first thing I'm going to do is kind of put like this die cut here up in front. I think that would be a great addition to that front part. Oh, I made a mistake. I put a glue dot where I didn't want it to stick on the donut part because you want to be able to lift it. So nope, it's too far over. Thankfully, I can take my fingernail and rub that glue dot off so it's not impeding the progress of me opening the card, if you know what I mean. So it's gone off the backside. Oh, and I forgot to erase my pencil mark. Look at me, I was just speeding right along. Because I used such a trace and faint pencil mark, you can't even see it on the final product. All right, let's keep going with the card here. I'm going to add a scrap piece of paper, and it looks like I just need to trim it off just a hair. So there's my first layer, and the theme for this kit is layering. And you notice how I put the swirls down? I want the eye to focus down on the bottom part. Then I'm going to go ahead and finish up with these two parts right here. And to add a little bit of extra detail, I'm going to go ahead and add my purple marker, and then I'm just going to put a little bit of ticking around the edge. It's going to look like somebody stitched it or it's got some embossing. And this really tricks the eye if it is not perfect. And it does look like a little bit of embossing or some ticking, and I think it looks a great addition. Now the final thing we're going to do is grab some of these stars, and we're going to adhere these down. Actually, you know what? We're going to use these hearts. Since it's sprinkled with love, why not? add some hearts on our project. And again, this is where this comes in handy. These glue dots are just so tiny. Last but not least, our pink heart. And the sprinkles are falling down. And doesn't this look super fun? Who wouldn't love to get this sprinkled with love card? Thank you so much for joining me here on Annie's channel, making the Celebrate card and also the Sprinkles with Love. If you have any questions regarding the Annie's Kit Club, the Creative Women, or any of the other subscription boxes that come in your mail monthly, go ahead and look in the description box below. There is more information. I'm going to go ahead and get envelopes for my friends' cards and get them in the mail as soon as possible because I've got a birthday coming up on Friday. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye-bye.